Hi, I'm Karen with CK Customs PA. I'm also an admin on the Facebook page Cricut Help Desk Unofficial. In this video, we're going to learn how to make DIY Valentine's Day cards for your kids. They'll include using your Cricut to draw a design, write some words, and create placeholders for their crayons. Let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you'll need to do is think about the shape of the card. To do this, I'm going to go to Google Chrome and I'm going to look for frame shapes. I'm going to switch my results to images and I'm going to look for a shape that I like for my card. You can use several different options. This is completely up to you. There are several here, more here. There are some single ones as well. Again, this is up to your discretion. I think this one looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and use it. To use this, I'm going to right-click on the image and select Save Image As. Go ahead, provide it a name, and save it somewhere that you'll be able to then locate it. Now, if you go to Cricut Design Space, you can upload that image. Click Upload on the left, then Upload Image, Browse, and you're going to want to search for where you just saved that image. Once you locate it, you'll want to click Complex and Continue. And then you need to remove any outer space from it. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom out a little bit over in the top right so I can see the full image. I'm going to use my wand. Click Advanced Options on the left. I need two colors. One is the white background. The second is my shape. So I'm going to change Reduce Colors to 2. And then I'm going to set my color tolerance to about 80 in this case. You're looking for setting the difference between those two colors. I'm going to click the outside area to make it go away. Clearly 80 was too high. The whole thing went away. So click Undo. Set that tolerance lower. So if that happens to you, you need to come lower in your tolerance. It looks like 50 did it for me. All right, I'm going to click Continue. This is going to be a cut. So make sure you select Cut. Provide it whatever name you want and click Save. Now that you've uploaded it, go ahead and select it from your recently uploaded images. And then on the lower right, click Insert Images. Wow, that brought it in really large. So we're going to need to bring this down a bit. I'm just going to come to the top center of my screen where it says Size. And I'm going to change the width down to about 7 for now. We'll probably adjust this as we go along. Let's go ahead and change it to white just for ease of seeing what we're doing, because this is going to be that outside shape that we're going to expect to be cut. All right, now that we have our shape, let's go ahead and create our holes for the crayons. I'm going to go to Shapes on the left, select a circle. Now I'm going to tell you the number for your standard crayon diameter. So your standard crayon diameter is 0.3. So to make sure it slides in easily, I'm going to go 0.35. I put that up in the width, and if I hit Tab, then you can see it changed sizes. Okay. I'm going to now need to create the curve to cut out around it. So to do that, I'm going to also create another circle. I'm going to duplicate that over on the right. Make that one on top a little smaller. And then click around the circles and drag so you go over both. So they're both selected at the same time. At the top, click Align. And you want to do a center alignment. This is going to perfectly put them over each other, centered both vertically and horizontally. Again, with them both selected, you'll need to click Slice in the lower right. We've now sliced that center circle out of the larger circle. I grabbed the wrong part there, out of the larger circle. Leaves us an outer ring. That's the piece I was looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and delete those other two circles. Now with your outer ring, we need half of that outer ring. So I'm going to go back to shape on the left, choose a square, and you're going to need to put that right about centered from top to bottom. It does not matter how far over the edges it goes. You just need to be cutting that ring in half. So again, I'm going to select both parts there, the ring and the square. Slice. Now we've sliced off that top piece. I can actually delete the rest of these pieces. We do not need them. All right, now my goal is to create a little moon shape around my circle that I'm going to use for my crayon. So I'm going to take this half circle. I'm going to go ahead and rotate it 90 degrees. I guess I could have sliced that ring the other way in half, and I wouldn't have had to do that step. Totally up to you. And then I'm just going to unlock the dimensions so I can resize as needed, both horizontally and vertically. I'm going to take my circle, put it in the center to give me a good judgment here. You just need to leave a good solid piece around it. And then you want the circle more into the curve than the open area. You can make those exact by selecting both, going to align. And in this case, you're going to do a center vertical. You can see where that line goes through, that indicates the center vertically. That will adjust those to be exact. All right, I'm going to go ahead and select both of those and group them. So that way they stay together and I don't accidentally grab one without the other. I also know that I'm going to need to set up 4 of them total. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate to create my second one. I'm going to line it up below, right about there. I'm going to select both of those. Again, come back to align. And you can either align these left, align them center, or align them right. They're going to all have the same effect because they're identical in size. I'm just trying to make sure that they're perfectly aligned on top of each other. And if I group those, I can now duplicate that set. I can take the second set and use the flip at the top, flip horizontally, space them apart from each other. You're looking for about 1.25 inches. So if you look here, my one on the left is at the 10-inch mark of my grid on the canvas. So my one on the right, I can bring to about 1/4 after the 11. You see how I'm using the canvas? I can select all of those. Now remember, the 2 on the left are grouped and the 2 on the right are grouped. So if I align those and align them vertically, that's going to make sure that they are lined up perfectly. I'm going to group my full set so I don't have to worry about those anymore. Those will come in onto our canvas whenever you're ready to place them. You can wait until later to see how your design works out and all of that. But we have that portion done. Let's go find a drawing. To do that, I'm going to go back to Chrome. This time, I'm going to search for Valentine clip art. As you're looking through the clip art and trying to decide what to use, some key indicators of the ones that may work better than others are going to be ones where you can see a black outline from each time the color changes in your image. So this ladybug would work nicely. This teddy bear would work nicely also. As you can see, it has the black outline between each color change. That's where you're looking for to select a good clip art for the purposes of having somebody color them in. Those lines are going to be what's left for the color. There are flowers. You can choose anything you'd like. Let's go ahead and go with, I like this teddy bear. So just like before with the frame, you'll want to right click and save image as, and then go ahead, give it a name, and save it somewhere that you'll be able to locate it to upload into Cricut Design Space. Now if we come back to Design Space, we'll go ahead and begin that upload process. So click Upload on the left, and then Upload Image. Browse for that image where you saved it. Again, click Complex and Continue. And I'm going to make it smaller again, just like before, so I can see the whole thing on one page. It makes it a little easier for me. We're going to use, again, the wand tool. Now this one has many colors, so I'm going to go ahead and leave the advanced option for reduced colors. It's already set to 2 from the prior time. I'm just not going to touch it. And now we're going to be removing the colors. Again, each time you're removing a color, let's zoom in just a little bit. Each time you're removing a color, you're comparing it to the one next to it as you set your tolerance. So from the black to this grid, from the black to the brown, from the black to the tan, those are all pretty good color variations. So I'm going to go back and try that 80 like I did last time. The higher you can get your tolerance without your image disappearing is typically the cleaner the lines will be. So I'm going to click the background. And as you can see, I now have a transparent background. Now I'm going to click each one of those color spots, and I really just want to leave the outline for a future little crafter to color in. So I'm clicking away all those colors. Scroll down a little bit. Perfect. We have the outline. I'm going to click Continue. And although this is going to be drawn with your Cricut pen, I am going to save it as a cut for now. Not a print then cut, because I'm not going to send it to my printer. So for now, go ahead and save it as a cut image. You can name it as you please and click Save. Again, select what you've uploaded and insert image to your canvas. He's pretty big as well, so we're going to have to bring him down in size as well. So I'm going to go ahead and reduce his height to about 5 inches to see where we're at. All right, he's still a little taller than my frame. This is where it's up to you. If you'd like to adjust your frame size, or if you'd like to adjust him, maybe you want to turn the frame the other direction and make it more vertical. These are all your choices, as you're the crafter, you're the creator, you're the designer. I'm going to go ahead and try 4 inches. All right, I like him at about that size. Just going to line him up over my frame. Now here's an important part. We need to switch him from a cut to a draw. To do that, you come up to the top to line type where it says cut. Select your down arrow. Select draw. Now you have him being drawn out. You can click the box next to the draw to select what type of pen you're intending to use. Now I tend to use a little thicker pen, so I'm going to go with the gel 1mm. It'll want you to select the color of the pen as well. I'm just going to select black. All right, now you can add some text as well. I'm going to do a little to line and a from line. You can also add a message like Happy Valentine's Day. This is, again, all up to you. I'm going to go ahead and bring this guy down a little bit just to leave me a little more writing room at the top. And let's get some text. Let's get a to with a colon. I'm going to click enter and do a from with a colon. And bring it over here so we can see it a little better. All right, so you need to make sure you pick a font that will draw. To do that, click your fonts drop down. Over on the right, click filter, and you want to make sure you're filtered to the writing fonts. Now, Cricut Access has many writing fonts. You can see here, I'm not a Cricut Access subscriber, and they want to charge me $4.99. I'm going to avoid those. I'm going to apply additional filter, and say, just give me my fonts. So these will be the ones I'm not going to need to pay for. From here, you can select from whichever font you like. I like the one that is Little White Lies. Let's see if I can find Little White Lies. That is going to be free. I'm selecting that. And just like you alter your font when you're cutting, you can do it for the draw portion too. So I'm going to decrease the space between them a little bit, and the whole thing is going to need to become smaller as well. So let's see, I'm going to decrease my line spacing. You can see that from is coming up. Let's go ahead and make the whole thing smaller. So we have a to and a from. And just like with our drawing image, we need to change this from a cut to a draw. So if you remember, you go to line type at the top, change the drop down from cut to draw. And again, I'm going to go ahead and specify for it that I'm going to use my gel pen. I'm going to drag that over onto my frame. I see I can go ahead and make it a little bigger. This is all your preference. Okay, so at this point, you're almost ready to cut your file. One really important step here is you need to attach. So you have your frame, you have your drawing of your character, you have your to and your from, and any other message you choose to add. And then you have cuts for your circles and your creases for the crayons. So all of this needs to be attached together so that all cuts and draws on one spot. I'm going to just go ahead and select all of it on my canvas. And on the lower right, I'm going to click attach. Now we're ready to make it. I'm going to go ahead and click make it. So you can play with this and increase the number of copies right here. You can say, go ahead and do 2 at a time and click apply. That'll put 2 on your sheet, and you can just, use your piece of paper and do 2 at once. For this demonstration, just so it goes a little quicker, I'm going to keep it at 1, but if you're making multiple, I would see how many you can fit per page. All right, so we see I need to put my paper onto my mat right at the top left corner. I'm going to go ahead and click continue. You'll need to select your material. I'm going to use the 65-pound cardstock. I'm going to use the 80-pound cardstock setting. I do have a little bit of thicker cardstock here, and I want to make sure it cuts all the way through. It's telling me now to load my pen into clamp A and make sure my fine point blade is in clamp B. Let's go ahead and I'll meet you over at my Cricut. Okay, now that we're over here at the Cricut, I have my paper, and I'm going to put that on my mat in the top left corner, just like we saw on the screen. I'm going to grab my pen. This is my 1mm gel pen. And a good tip before you put these into your clamp is to just kind of give them a little scribble in the corner, somewhere where you're not going to be cutting anyway, just to get it started. Just like when you're writing with a pen on paper, sometimes you just need to get it started. That's going to save you some possible errors if you haven't used your pens in a while. So I'm going to go ahead and load it into my machine with the little arrow down in front. Close the clamp. I already have my fine point blade in clamp B. I'm going to load my mat in. Don't forget to apply a little bit of pressure as you're loading it. And then press the flashing C to start your cut. I'm going to go ahead and step away and let my Cricut work its magic. Okay, now that it's finished cutting, I'm going to go ahead and unload my mat. I'm going to gently lift my design off of my mat. Don't roll over on yourself, just kind of pull it away. And there we have it. I'll go ahead and meet you back over at the table so we can finish this up. All right, welcome back. You should now have your design. If all the pieces didn't come out when you took it off the mat, you can just grab those and gently pull them out. The same thing with the holes for the crayons. I use a little straight edge. This is a ruler here. And I'm going to line it up underneath the curves for the folding and use that to fold against for the crayons. Let's go ahead and do the other side. All right, now you can go ahead and stick your crayons in, and you have the perfect little DIY Valentine's card for your kids to give to their friends. Hopefully this helped create a cute little Valentine's card for you. And if you liked it, please like the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks, have a great day.